everyone, this is Lock and welcome back to another video on the Great Builds YouTube channel. And today I have overhauled the botanical garden project we started last week and added a whole bunch of flowers into it. I will say this project is not complete. There's some other flowers I'd like to add in the future and some more benches I'd like to put in the future, like the ones at the train station we'll see. And this is primarily just to add it to the botanical garden. Just like any Lego project, it's never really done. There's always improvements that can be made. So, moving over to the entrance to the botanical garden, you can see that the train station and all around the botanical garden has lamps. I tried using some of the 2x2 radar dish pieces to create covers for the tops of the lamps, which is different. I don't do that on any of the other lamps in my city at the time being, but I might choose to switch some of them over later on. It just takes a lot of those radar dishes, and you'd be surprised how few sets they actually come in, so it would take me a while to get my hands on enough of them. Now, I have some of the older style Lego flowers here, followed by some of the older Lego trees in the back, and it's to represent like the history of Lego flowers, I guess. I always want to try and do that with my builds that feature botanical garden stuff because it's always fun to see that. Now, additionally, here we have a tree over here that's built using some of the standard brown pieces and slopes for the main trunk, and then the actual leaves are made through the leaf pieces, and then even smaller leaf pieces to cover it up. Additionally, we have a little fern and some vines, some little flowers that I guess would be considered common around this area. We have a little tiny tree starting to grow, another tree using the same building style as the first over here. Additionally, I wanted to add a little bit of a reference to Minecraft, because I do like playing Minecraft in my free time. It is another building game, and of course I love building, so definitely fun to reference that here with a small Minecraft melon and a block. I might add some more Minecraft themed stuff here in the future, but for now I just wanted to showcase that it exists. Additionally, we have this really weird palm tree design utilizing these newer palm tree leaves that go all the way around the tree and bend into this really crazy shape. And we have these flowers all the way around the front that are on flower stem pieces, and we even have these little flowers on grass pieces that could represent sunflowers or some other kind of flower. I'm not exactly sure. I'm pretty happy with them, though. Additionally, we have all these plants that are just greens growing here, and a vine that came from a 2012 set growing over the front. I had a lot of fun putting that in because that's definitely a really cool piece. Additionally, there's this entire fantasy section here, and this fantasy section is based entirely off of the wilderness realm of Ninjago. Now, if this is your first time on any of my videos, I base my LEGO City project off of the world of Ninjago. However, this is supposed to be before the merge, so all these plants would have had to been imported from other realms. And this is just kind of fun, because I took the idea that came with two of these sets earlier this year in Ninjago or earlier last year. Oh my goodness, time flies. But this is meant to be representing these trees found in Sora's Elemental Tech Mech set and the Wolf Shadow Dojo. So just some fun pieces here, and the grass is even dark blue to represent that as well. Then it transfers to dark green, where we still have some fantasy-like plants and some normal plants here using some really cool textures and pieces. Feel free to pause the video if you want to take a look at see how any of these were built. They're all fairly simple, but they're all fairly fun to build. Additionally, over here, we have another one of those crazy palm trees and some small, I guess, just tall grass elements, I guess. And the greenhouse is basically the same as it was previously, and it just has some flowers in there that are starting to grow, as well as a solid amount of goldenrod-like flowers in the back. And this is all supposed to represent flowers that can't really deal with the natural temperatures outside. Although I'd like to think that most of the temperatures in my city are ideal enough for flowers to grow. Additionally, moving over here, we have this really cool tree with some vines, and some palm trees over here, as well as some small bushes. So, this might be controversial, but for the rest of this botanical garden section over here, none of this is actually built out of Lego aside from the fence. And this is actually because with some of the other brands that exist for building blocks out there, you can find molds for some of these really cool like pieces and molds and recolors and even total colors that Lego does not make. So, in my eyes, if you're not using these, you're just limiting your creativity, and if you do use these, it's just giving you more options. So that's what I've been doing here. Starting off with a few of the favorites that I like, we're going to do one from each category. We have new colors, and this is a pale version of pink used for this bush here, and it's not Lego standard pink, which will be a little too vibrant for this, so I'm pretty happy with it. Additionally, we have recolors. featuring these palm leaf pieces that we saw on some of the trees earlier in the video, but now they're in this tan color, which works really well for these bushes. And then we have new molds, which is these little flower stems here that have the ability to let you put more than 3 flowers on a single flower stem, which is great because Lego's flower stems only let you use 3. So, definitely really cool to see all these, but we can't talk about just having these non-Lego pieces without talking about the king when it comes to this sort of piece, Mega Construx. Now, if you're unfamiliar, Mega Construx primarily does Pokemon and Halo, and in the future they're going to be opening up a new brand called Brick Shop, which does car builds, but I want to showcase some of their pieces in this set from previous Pokemon kits because I used to collect those, and they do really, really have a lot of good pieces that make it look like bushes or succulents, or even their palm tree looks more realistic than Lego's probably going to be able to get in the near future. So definitely fun to have these, but I want to separate them into a corner just to showcase them all in one go. Additionally, just a side note, but I really like the pot that they've got here. Now, as I said, you don't have to use these in your own builds, but at least don't criticize people who do, because they really do open up the creative process a lot more to people that want to use these pieces. Now, finally, I want to talk about the whole, fence thing over here. I kept the fence the same, but I wanted to add some greenery to it, so I added these palm leaves going across it on the top of all the different sides of the fence, including a few birds here and there, because, well, if there's going to be plants, there's going to be birds, and I think that looks pretty good. It does really create the greenery that the Botanical Garden needs. Additionally, we have over here a pretty good sized forest started with some trees. This will be a future project, though. I just wanted to showcase that some of this stuff will be going in over time. And, of course, the final most important thing that we have to talk about here is right here in the center. And this is my favorite thing that I've done for the Botanical Garden, and it is a raised bed that's carrying shrubs in the shape of chickens. Now, again, if this is your first time on the channel, this is probably crazy, but, I mean, in the background of this video the whole time there's been a giant chicken coop, so I don't know what you were expecting, but this is definitely a fun idea. I did some brick-built chicken designs that are similar to some of the ones that Lego used to do. Nowadays, there's molded chickens for that, but I thought that this would be fun, and it's in my channel's colors as well, which makes it just all the much more better. So that's the final thing I wanted to showcase for this, because this is pretty much all I've got for now. I have some other things I might add to the future with this, and that includes benches, some more flower designs, and probably some even more trees too, because I have some other cool tree designs I want to do as well. So I guess stay tuned for that, but in the meantime, if you have any particular plant requests, feel free to put down something in the comments below. Just note that I will not be going out to buy any of the large-scale Lego sets for Botanical Gardens, but if I'm able to source the pieces from those, I might add a few pieces in there if I do like them. So definitely worth giving your comments down below. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. I got a whole bunch of projects, so stay tuned for the next ones in the near future, and I hope you all have a great day.